This week, we're going to talk about how to unlock the success of effective marketing strategies for bookkeepers and accountants to target law firms and attorney work and to get more law firm clients, basically. So, this is a topic that comes up often in the law lab. People will have a couple of attorney clients, maybe just one. That's how I started. And then they want to know, how do I get more clients like this? How can I grow my firm and really start to just working only with attorney clients and really get rid of all the clients that aren't attorneys? So it's like marketing for any other business. You have to follow a subset of challenges that come up. I can tell you right now that this is not flip a switch and overnight you're successful with thousands of followers. However, you don't really need thousands of followers to have this be effective. You will need to be consistent. Consistency is king or queen. And you just need to make sure that you follow some of these methods that I'm going to outline. I have a very detailed article that goes along with this video that will help you kind of guide you through all of these steps. But mapping through all of these changes, there'll be a lull if you've been a generalist and you're working with all sorts of clients, and then all of a sudden you just focus on attorneys. I get to have many freak out moments. It's going to change, and sometimes it takes the time and the groundwork to get there. So you'll start to see that they're going to perhaps slow down the leads at first, but then they'll start to come in. And it's very cyclical. I always kind of say the summer is a great time to start to shift and plan for these things. If you are going to make this shift, know that you should have a little bit of cash on hand, because when that lead gen dries up a bit for a little bit of that lull, you want to have enough clients to kind of continually work through and as you make the shift. So that's important. So let's start with your brand voice. You want to be professional. You want to show that you're trustworthy, and you want to show that you're knowledgeable. So that's part of what you're going to do and I would even throw in authentic. So it's part of what you're going to do to prove to others that you know what you're talking about. And I think with law firms, the bookkeeping requirements differ from other industries. So as a bookkeeper targeting this sector, it's really crucial to understand the law firm needs to present yourself in a way that shows that you know your stuff. You speak the language, and you're able to convey the work that you do, and you're knowledgeable on how to fix some of the pain points that our clients have. One of the things I think will help too, besides making that brand voice, is to be able to offer services that a lot of bookkeepers don't want to touch, like a hot potato. And I mean like billing services. A lot of firms, I've run into a lot of bookkeeping firms like, oh, we won't do the invoicing. It's just too much of a hassle. We tell them they have to find another way to get that done. And I think sometimes you can charge a lot for this, mind you. So don't be afraid of it. And if you are going to do it, kind of schedule yourself so that you're able to actually be good at maybe one or two of the software, and then align yourself that way so that you're able to help a client. And they may like work in Clio, they may put their time in, and you'll be putting the expenses in, and then aggregating it all to make a draft really isn't that hard. But they'll be very happy to know that you've been able to handle that piece of it, handle the billing itself once it's approved, and then handle following up on it, because that's where attorneys and law firms, our law firm clients, kind of drop the ball. They don't really want to chase the money. They don't want to bother with that extra step and the time that it takes to kind of chase through. Nobody wants to make that phone call and ask for money. So having a process in place to handle that too. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is trust accounting. So know your stuff on trust accounting, know how to fix a messy trust account. That's key. Know how to organize it, make better workflows. Those are all things that are going to step you forward in front and shine as a bookkeeper over any other bookkeeper to an attorney client. So that's one of the things you may want to really maybe put out in your content, whether you're doing it with video, audio, you're doing it both, you're writing, whatever you're doing, show that you know what you're talking about. And that's part of your brand voice, is getting it out there. Maybe you've got a YouTube channel, you're getting it out there. Maybe you're doing a podcast, you're getting it out there. Maybe you're writing your own blogs. All these things are ways and effective ways to get yourself known to be that trusted person that you can go to. You want to start with identifying your target audience. So that's really the key place. Once you know you only want to work with lawyers, almost visualize who you're speaking to. Are you speaking to that small law firm owner owns a small firm and doesn't really have any employees? solopreneur type of law firm? Are you targeting to boutique law firms? Are you targeting to mid-market? Are you targeting to large law firms? Figure out who that is you're speaking to, and then start to create the content around that. Almost visualize that person that you're talking to as you start to create the content and moving forward. What are the things you hear from the attorneys that they're having trouble with? Those are the topics you want to write about or speak about or video or record yourself talking about. You also want to develop a unique value proposition. So you want to target the law firms and you want to be clear in your value proposition that's going to set you apart from the generic bookkeeper that's just head down, does the work, and doesn't really have the services that you're going to provide. And one way to really differentiate yourself and to really emphasize your deep knowledge in legal accounting. You can fix broken trust. You can work with compensation plans. You can work with multi-lawyers. You can track attorney productivity KPIs. You have these skill set to be able to assist your client in firm growth. And that's really where they're going to be looking to, especially in the future as technology and AI starts to speed up some of the manual processes we won't have to do anymore. You want to build a professional website. It's your calling card. It's your place, the first place somebody lands to hear about you. They might have heard about you at a conference. They may have seen an article you wrote in one of their legal magazines. They may have heard about you from another attorney. They look you up. That's the first impression. Make sure it's a good first impression. That really is a place that you want to highlight your expertise and show your credibility, show the things you're able to do. It should be clean. It should be modern. It should be user-friendly. It should, within seconds, tell the reader what you're doing and what you're an expert in. So don't let someone have to scroll down to the bottom to actually set up an appointment to meet with you. You want to have that place to click right at the top so they can get a hold of you instantly. They don't have to look and scroll and try to figure out where you are on that page. You want to utilize the content in your marketing to establish yourself in a thought leadership role. And you do that by creating the marketing that you start to use the language that they speak about. You start to use our ability to share what we know, which sounds counterintuitive. It sounds like I really shouldn't be doing this, but in actuality, you want to help people. And by helping people and providing content, providing good knowledge base, they're probably not going to want to do the work anyway. They're going to want to reach out to you, let you handle it, because that's not what they do. They're not really supposed to be the bookkeeper. They want to be able to do the work that they do, the good work that they do. So maybe create some blog posts, maybe create a white paper, maybe create some ebooks. A friend of ours, Steve, does really well with making webinars for the attorneys at his local bar association. Sarah has her feelers into, my business partner Sarah has her feelers into everything inside of the law area in her town, and she's been very active in the bar over there as well, and she's done webinars. There's a lot of things, and she's stepped forward in that thought leadership role. She gets a lot of great connections and great referrals that way. So make sure that you start to do that. If you're not somebody who wants to be on the camera, you can start to make some email marketing campaigns. Those are very successful. Start to build that list. Those are also really important to do. Start to craft that as a way to get your law firm clients and prospects. And if you're really good at writing it, you can really come up with a good email marketing strategy to nurture those leads and just stay on top of mind. So when the time comes that they do want to hire you, they've already had you landing on their in their inbox, week after week or month after month. But make sure that it's content-rich email newsletters, and it gives them a snippet of valuable insights, tips, industry updates, whatever's relevant to the law firm clients. You want to add stuff like that. Don't make it so much about buy from me, that open-ended pushy car salesman type of mentality doesn't work. They'll unsubscribe in a heartbeat. You want to have some good content that they're learning something all the time. There's lots of social media channels where you can share what you know. Obviously, LinkedIn is the logical one. It's kind of where the attorneys hang out, but you also have Facebook, you have Twitter, known as X, you have Threads, Instagram. There's just a whole bunch out there, TikTok. So just find the one that's where you think your client might be looking at night and try to get yourself out there as that knowledgeable person. You want to make sure that you can engage with the law firms there, and you can even just be a matter of just sharing relevant industry news. So it's simple as that, but you want to be out there. You want to be front and center. You're seen all the time. You can also network to build these relationships. Go to some of the legal conferences and just get yourself out there to talk to people. We're going to CleoCon next month. So know that we're actually in the beginning of October, we're going to be going to these conferences, and we're in front of the attorneys, and we're hearing what they're talking about and looking at the list of things that Clio has put together to help the attorneys. There's your easy way to figure out what you should be writing about, the things that really bother attorneys. Productivity is always one. I can tell you that. Marketing, how much do I spend on marketing? Those are the topics that are really important to attorneys. So start to get yourself there. Even things to do with how to manage staff, those are things that they regularly have to deal with in their day-to-day. So try to get yourself in front of that as well. Look at those KPIs, marketing goals, anything that metric-wise you can put out there in an article and provide some insight so that they have an idea or a guide, and then you can go forward with that. So look at your analytics, see what's working, see what's not working as you start to dip your toes into the waters here. Track it, figure out where the leads are coming from as they start to come in, and know what works, know what doesn't work. You don't want to blanket yourself out onto every social media channel. I've tried that. It doesn't really work. It's just an oversaturation. You want to really focus yourself on one or two that works for you and just kind of go from there. I hope these tips were helpful. Like I said, really deep article that goes along with this. And until next month, we'll see you then. Next week. Bye now.